I'm big in giving people their flowers,
You do a
and
great job at that, by the way.
thank
I
you.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my college boyfriend, he was a graphic designer and he was freelance. He was the first freelancer I ever knew. And at first I was like, does that mean you like don't have a job? And like I was like, I don't know. But no, he like actually, worked freelance for an agency, and he gave me this book which I always give to people now. It's called Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon.
Oh,
Have you
okay.
read
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I
So
haven't read that, but I've seen it.
I should have given you one while you were here because I always have like extra copies. It's a really good gift, like a
You can
good
send
book
send me
to
that with
give
those Apple Air Max Pros or however they're
that are
called.
just laying around on the ground somewhere. Yeah, so he gave me that book when I had exams in college one day, and I had like I had to be on campus the whole day, and I was like, I need a book like for in between classes. He was like, oh, you should take this one, you'll really like it. So I took it and it changed my life. Like it's just
Wow.
you've got to read that book. It's first of all, you can read it in like an hour. It's really short and sweet. But yeah, it really opened my eyes to creative entrepreneurship and this idea of making money from being creative. And so yeah, it helped me really start to take YouTube a little bit more seriously and start to do things like develop a YouTube schedule, for example. As opposed to just posting whenever I wanted to, I started saying, okay, I'm going to post every Monday and Friday or whatever. Starting to understand the idea of like, niching down and having SEO, friendly topics and all of that stuff. And anyway, the long story short of how I got here is I made a YouTube video that was a little bit more business focused. It was talking about an industry website, basically. And I kind of gave my review as a creator. I was like, hey, here's how this website helped me, and here's how it didn't, the pros and cons of it. And I got an email from this man in Paris, and I was a little sketched out. I was like, this is like definitely not real. But he was like, hey, I watched your video on this website. We're creating a website that's kind of similar, but wants to be a lot better. Can you get on a call with me and start consulting and like help me make the website something that
Oh,
you would like to
nice.
use? Yeah. And so that again, shout out to my college boyfriend Nate, because he was like, yes, you should take this call, here's how to use Skype. Like I was like, what? Like, how do I accept payment for this? Like he really helped me with that. And yeah, I got on this call, and that one Skype call turned into, I think I worked with them for 3 or 4 years, built up their
Wow.
whole like influencer marketing strategy. We built a community of over 20,000 influencers. I hosted events for them in New York and LA, built a team of 4 people. So in just in the US, they had a huge team over in Paris. And yeah, so that was like my first long-term
What
client.
like when you first started working with them, was this an opportunity where you're like, yo, this is great money off the bat, or was it like, hey, this kind of like a risk, but I'm
Yeah.
willing to like grow with them?
Yeah, I started very part-time. So I think I maybe charged like $100 for that first consulting call or
Uh,
whatever.
because
And
what I think messed me up a lot is
yeah,
like I get advice from my family that aren't entrepreneurs, and they always
yeah.
want you to maximize like everything right off the bat. And like I feel
Hmm.
like when I was in my 20s, I messed up a lot of opportunities like that because like, well,
Yeah.
how much did they pay you for this? Oh, you need to charge for this, and it's like they don't understand the value of like the long
Yeah.
termness or the longevity of things.
For sure. Well, it goes back to like the top of this conversation, right? It's about investing in relationships. And I I was like, okay, like once I looked this guy up and looked up the company and looked at how much funding they had and all the things, I was like, okay, they're legit. This isn't just some random man in his basement. Like, this is somebody who would be good to get to know and have in my contacts, if nothing else. So I'm just a girl in college. Like I'm not saying I didn't know anything or I didn't have anything to bring to the table, but I did kind of have to prove myself. And we
I like
both
that.
we had to prove ourselves to each
Yeah.
other, like that we could have a mutually beneficial, relationship. And so I wouldn't have felt comfortable at all being like, hey, you've got to pay me, $5,000 a month off the bat to have a conversation. Like I wasn't confident enough in my skills. And frankly, I didn't have them yet. Over that 3, 4 years that I worked with them, I grew to the point where I felt very confident asking those numbers, but I didn't on day one. And I think that's a big thing about freelancing and entrepreneurship is you have to you have to actually feel like you can do a good job for somebody. Like you have to you have to be able to justify those rates yourself, because otherwise you're going to feel bad about it. You're going to like just dig yourself into a hole. So I believe in starting slow, building up that relationship. They will see the value in you. And
But
that's what
like,
happened. Yeah. After, a few consulting calls here and there and like a few just kind of like hourly projects. Like, hey, could you look at this spreadsheet of brands and tell me which ones you think are cool to YouTubers and which ones aren't? Like simple stuff like that. Then they actually offered me a full-time position off the bat. I declined the full-time offer and I said, how about instead of a full-time job, you give me a contract of, 20 hours a week or something like that. And I hire somebody else to help me. And so I was able to get my friend a job. She was a good YouTube friend of mine. So,
I love you because you're always like sometimes you talk to people more so in person,
mhm,
or you see their content and it's like self-made. I did all this by myself, and it's like, bruh. Now
no.
we all know that's not true, and you're
Yeah.
always like, no, this shout out to this person, shout out to that person. So I always
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Kelsey is her name. She doesn't do stuff on the internet anymore, so I won't like say her full name or anything. But yeah, we had a good time doing that, and yeah, my GM job was kind of like it was almost like in a call center, but it was for the internet. So I worked really weird hours. So I would work like 5 to 11 p.m. or 4 to 11,
Oh
something like that. Yeah. And so I would get up in the morning and I would do my work for Octoly, the Parisian company, and then I would like have lunch and then go to my night job and just wake up and do it all over again. Like that was my life for probably a year and a half, 2 years. I was doing both.
So how did you get to the point where you were just like you're not having to work these jobs, or you
Yeah.
chose not?
So it was in December of 2018. My dad passed away, like pretty unexpected. I mean, I say, unexpectedly. Anybody who's like ever loved an addict kind of is always like waiting for that moment, for lack of better words.
It's like you knew that that would probably be the result, but you don't know when.
Exactly. I mean, he was only 51, which is like, I'm just like, that's so young. Like, I'm 34. I'm like, that is not that far away.
Yeah.
And obviously, he lived a very different lifestyle than I do. And so hopefully that's not going to be my story, but it does put things in perspective. You never know. Like, we're not promised any day. And I'm like, is this is this going to be my life sitting in a cubicle um forever? And again, I'm really glad that I did those things because I learned so much, and I really enjoyed a lot of my time working in corporate, but I felt like I did kind of reach a wall. Like I reached a point where I had kind of learned what I needed to learn from that job, and I was sort of just going through the motions now at that point. So he died in December, and then by April I was on my own. I think I put in my notice in like February or March. I gave like a lot of notice because I didn't want to like totally screw them over. But yeah, I just was like, all right, this is this is it. I'm gonna take a leap of faith, and I did, and here I am, still kicking.
So what would I'm trying to think of like the stuff I know people will be wondering, which I think is all right. I have YouTube. I have this creative thing I'm doing. I have a job. Obviously, in order to not work the job, I need to have a source of income.
Yeah.
So I think people understand YouTube and the content creation, but it's like, okay, what were you doing that
Yep.
allowed you to make enough money to
Yeah.
not have to go to those places? What was the product, the
Okay.
service? Where did the money come from?
Where'd the money come from? That's what I want to know. Okay, this is a great this is a great question. So, I was side hustling for years at that point. I did not touch that money. I want to be very clear, you guys. If you are making more than you need, stop spending money. Stop spending money like you are, a baller out here. Just stop. Put that money in a bank account. I wish I would have been putting it in a high yield bank account, but I didn't have those. I didn't know those things back then.
Yeah.
But I saved all of my checks that I made, all of my invoices from Octoly, and I only used them to pay my taxes on my business. That was pretty much it. Or like if I needed a new computer, like something that was business related, but I was living the same lifestyle as I was living, and I was just living off of my, full-time paychecks. And so by the time that I left, I think I was able to save, I don't know how much it was, maybe like $20,000 or something, which again, to me, that was like so much money back then.
Yeah.
I was like,
Facts.
Oh my God. Like, I mean, I grew up without, I'm sure there were years we made $20,000 in a year, you know? So, I think that was a nice safety net for me. I think that was like maybe 6 or probably even more than 6 months of expenses for me. And so that gave me a safety net. But I want to be clear, like, I wasn't making the amount that I was making from my full-time job, like when I quit my job. And I think that's, I don't want to say a mistake. Everyone has their own comfort level. But I think if you're waiting for your side hustle to make more than your full-time hustle, it's going to be a real uphill battle because you just don't have the same amount of hours. You know, like it's going
Yeah,
to be very difficult to do that. So I think there is a part of it that just has to be a leap of faith or a math problem. For me, I was like, okay, I'm making like $3,000 a month from my freelancing and I don't know, whatever, like $5,000 a month from full time. If I just do the math, if I had an extra 8 hours a day for my side hustle, statistically speaking, I'm gonna like
right.
outpace that 5 grand. I don't know that for sure, but statistically speaking, if I'm putting that effort into my
I think it's
business,
a
it will
mix
pay
of
off.
I think it's a mix of the math, and then when you say when your dad passed away, where it's like even if it whether it works out or it doesn't, like life is short. So I want to
Yeah.
spend that time going for it and finding out rather than doing the safe thing, and it's like for what?
Yeah.